Yeah, you can say that I'm kinda a bit, you know what, forget it, really late on this movie. And that's because during the movie's release, I was kind of busy with other stuff like exams, and then after exams were finished, Avengers Endgame was almost out, so I had to finish off the Iron Man marathon. But now all of the Marvel stuff is out of the way, well, for now at least, so it's finally time for DC to shine once again on the channel, as it did back in the beginning of, you know, this whole review thing that I did in this channel, because as you recall, Justice League was the first movie I ever reviewed, so yeah, this is gonna be fun to do another DC movie. So yeah, without further ado, Shazam! It takes a while. Let's get into it. So since I'm a bit late on this movie, I kind of feel like it's best to, you know, go ahead and put on the spoiler warning now, because I'm pretty sure everybody has watched it at this point. So yeah, Lena, cue the spoiler warning. So yeah, Shazam. I never really heard a lot about Shazam before I heard about this movie coming out and, you know, watching this movie. The first time I ever heard of the word Shazam and the character Shazam was during like a Comic-Con back in like maybe 2013 or something, where they were giving out Lego minifigures, and one of the Lego minifigures was actually a Lego Shazam. That's the first time I heard of it. So yeah, ever since then I kind of have a bit of an understanding on how, you know, Shazam is. Basically, it's this kid named Billy Batson who actually got powers in order to, you know, when he says the word Shazam, he becomes this full-fledged superhero. And of course, with that entire idea of Shazam in mind, I kind of feel like you can do a very interesting movie with it. Because, you know, it's a grown-up, I mean, like, it's a kid who gets, you know, turned into this grown-up superhero. And of course, you can get some, you know, fun ideas and fun scenes within this movie. And I feel like the movie does that pretty well, especially with the Shazam character in mind. Because, you know, it really, when I see Shazam and how he acts, it really seems like it's a kid inside a grown-up superhero body, and I really like that idea. I kind of feel like it makes sense for them to do this in the movie, so yeah, I really like it. And I also feel like it really, it also kind of fits well with the entire tone of this movie, because I feel like the entire tone of this movie is very different from most superhero movies. Basically what I'm saying is that this movie kind of feels a lot more smaller in a way compared to, you know, other movies that we see, you know, nowadays, which are, you know, very big, and I feel like they tend to, you know, make you, how do I say this? Basically like, how do I say this? Kind of like this. Yeah, Avengers! Basically, usually superhero movies nowadays tend to, you know, make you geek out or shout even because of something's happening in the film which takes place in the superhero world. So yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to say. Usually movies try to take place more in the superhero world rather than the human world. I mean, sure, there will be time to go into the human world in those movies, but the superhero world is basically the main priority, but it's kind of the exact opposite in this movie. And I feel like they really benefited from that. I really feel like it's really nice to have this type of movie at this time period, because this time I can just nicely, you know, relax and all that, just chill there. And the best part about it, I was actually like in the first class seat when I was watching the movie. I was actually able to lift my legs there. Yeah, it was actually pretty nice. So yeah, I really like the movie for that. And I feel like they also tried to take this to their advantage, because thanks to this idea of, you know, taking place more in the human world, it kind of feels like it kind of amplifies, you know, the character in the, well, characters. I can clearly see that they're going more with the characters in this film. Almost all the characters in this film kind of have a nice personality, and also they kind of develop over time. I mean, not all of them develop all the time, but most of them do, which is very interesting to see a lot of that in the superhero movie. I mean, sure, we see it before, but I think they kind of have it much as this though. So yeah, I really like that. What I also found out what's very different from, you know, most superhero movies rather than this movie is, well, basically more on the origin side of things, because I feel like most movies try to be like, first of all, the guy is like a very different person, and then an accident happened or something like that, and turns him into, you know, the superhero. He punched for a bit or something like that. He kind of goes about doing superhero deeds straight away. Then there's some problems along the way during that, and then after that they beat the bad guy. Done. Sure, there will be some interesting ideas inside that kind of main storyline, but I feel like this movie kind of does it a bit differently, because I feel like because the thing is, they kind of spend a lot more time on, you know, the regular Billy in the, you know, like in the first half of the film. Like technically it's kind of the first half of the film, it's just basically mostly just Billy, so, you know, the regular Billy, not, you know, this Billy. So yeah, I feel like it's really nice to actually see that coming into fruition. And after, soon enough, we finally get to see Shazam, and then later on, he isn't actually, you know, a superhero just quite yet. He doesn't do superhero deeds, instead he just has fun with it. And then later on, he soon learns how to become a superhero, and then he actually becomes the Shazam, you know, the superhero Shazam. So yeah, I kind of feel like it's a very interesting idea. Sure, it's not that much, but I mean, it's not really that, you know, groundbreaking is what I'm saying. But still, it's very interesting to see that after seeing a lot of movies that kind of did the same thing. Sure, they kind of did it in their own way with that whole formula, but this one kind of breaks the formula a bit, breaks it in half and do something else with it entirely. So yeah, I really like that as well. I also like the little references they have to other superhero movies, even though it's not anything major, it's nothing to connect it to the other DC movies in the past. Well, technically, because I kind of feel like it kind of follows up to Justice League, because, you know, it kind of shows you that after the events of Justice League, you know, the Justice League become more popular, as you can see with all the merchandise and all that, which still fits Shazam to have that there. So yeah, I really like that they put that in the movie. And yeah, it also shows you that, you know, the Justice League still exists, it's just that we're not really gonna see them for a while on the big screen unless it's in a nice animated end credits. I mean, seriously, that end credit scene was, I mean, like, not the end credit scene, I mean, that scene was pretty cool, but the end credits was really nice as well. I really like the animation and all that, and also like, you know, all the characters are there. Just, you know, it's Shazam just messing with the Justice League. It's really fun to see, you know, to end the movie. I really like that. So overall, I really like this movie. It's a really nice change of pace to the usual superhero movie antics. It's really nice to just relax and, you know, have a fun time doing so. So yeah, I really like that that's the case for this movie. So yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about this movie. So with that said, alright guys and gals, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is much more shorter than, you know, the Avengers Endgame review. I haven't seen how long this is yet, of course, but I'm pretty sure it's not as long as the Avengers Endgame one. But yeah, I really like that we're finally back to the usual arrangement, because for the past 2 months, I think, I've been reviewing movies on that couch over there, or up in that weird dimension that we have now. So yeah, thanks to the glove, which is now securely kept here. So yeah, next up on the channel, I'm not really sure yet. There are movies that I want to review right now, but I'm not sure which one yet, but we'll see first. But yeah, that's all for me for now. So until then guys, rock it on. Hey look, a pencil.